Coming up on this holiday edition of One-on-One Sports.
David Stern fined the Spurs for benching 4 of their starters against the Heat, but was it his place to punish the team?
And later on, Kurt and I hand out some presents to the naughty and nice in the world of sports.
All that and more, it all starts right now.
Hello and welcome to One-on-One Sports Holiday Special. I'm Joe DiRienzo.
And I'm Kurt Leston. We have a great show for you today, so let's get the ball rolling with the starting 5.
The National Baseball Hall of Fame has announced the newest list of players eligible for induction into the class of 2013. And that list includes some of the biggest players in the steroid era in Barry Bonds, Sammy Sosa, and Roger Clemens. Now, Kurt, do you think these guys have a shot of being first ballot Hall of Famers, if they do at all?
I'm sorry, did you say first
do they have a chance?
Hall of Famers?
I don't think they do, but I want to hear your opinion first.
Oh my goodness, no way. There is no way they are first ballot Hall of Famers because of the steroids issue. There's no way they're going to get that kind of love from baseball writers who we know hate the steroid era.
Baseball writers loved bashing the steroid. I think that means that other guys like Craig Biggio, Kenny Lofton, and Mike Piazza, guys also in this class, have a much better chance of being first ballot Hall of Famers in this one.
Interesting, but also you could look at it from the fact that even though they're not basically alleged of doing it, it's still in the era. There is some cloud of doubt over them still.
There's a cloud of doubt over them, but I think that the fact that these guys are such big, we're pretty darn sure that these guys use steroids, that I think these other guys are going to have a better chance of getting that 75% they need.
And do you think eventually these guys will get into the Hall of Fame?
I think it's going to be tough. I think they do have a chance. I think time could potentially heal these wounds. Not too likely.
We'll have to see. Baseball writers are very stingy and very old-fashioned, I guess. But we'll see, right? Apparently, the Honey Badger doesn't care about playing football ever again. Former LSU safety Tyrann Mathieu has announced that he's going to leave college and not play college football again, but join the NFL draft in 2013. Joe, this is after being suspended due to drug issues. Is this the right move for the Honey Badger?
It's an interesting move. I think it's a good move to go to the draft. I think it's interesting retroactively, though, because he could have played low-division college football this year and proven himself a little bit more. I know it's not as highly touted as being an LSU safety, but it's still something, proving yourself. And he's got intangibles problems. People love his work ethic, his energy, his confidence in his playing ability. And then there's always the but. But do we know how he's going to be off the field? But is he a little too small to be a safety in the NFL?
And those are big buts. Those are huge buts because he doesn't have the speed to play cornerback. He really doesn't. He doesn't have the cover skills to be a cornerback. But I think it's a terrible move for the Honey Badger.
Really?
He hasn't proven to anyone that he can still play football. Another year of low-level football would have helped him immensely.
Yeah, I think that would have helped him a lot. I think it's going to be interesting to see what team takes a flyer on him this year. On the last day of his team's 6-game, 9-day road trip, San Antonio Spurs head coach Gregg Popovich decided to send home starters Tim Duncan, Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili, and Danny Green for some extra rest, the day they were facing off against the Miami Heat in primetime. David Stern fined the team $250,000, saying the Spurs did, quote, a disservice to the league and our fans. Kurt, is Pop in the wrong here, or is David Stern overstepping his bounds as commish?
Pop is in the wrong here. You might not like
this.
Yeah, you know what? You might not like this answer from me, but Joe, my issue is people paid a pretty penny to get into that arena. People sat down and set aside their night to watch that game.
True.
It's an immense,
It was still a good game.
Fine.
They only lost by 5.
That's fine. It was a huge game. Yeah, they might have only lost by 5, but you pay the money to see that game because of the big names that are playing. The NBA is all about the superstars. You can't sit that many of them.
You're right. It is about the superstars. And when your superstars are 36, 35, and 30, and Parker, Manu Ginobili, and Tim Duncan, you need to make sure they get rest. A 6-game, 9-day road trip.
If they're on the team, they should go to those games. They should be playing in those games. I don't care how old they are. If you're in the league, play the game.
If you want these guys healthy all season and you think this is your best move for your team to be successful, I mean, come on. They're not quitting on these games. They have the second best record in the NBA.
They're not quitting. They don't start 4 of their starters.
Second best record in the NBA, Kurt.
Joe, you can't sit 4 of your starters and tell me you're not caring about that game, please.
You can't question what he's doing if he's winning.
Later. Could you imagine getting to the pool and swimming against an Olympian who just came off of the London Olympics where she won 4 gold medals and set world records? Well, That's what high schoolers in Colorado have to look forward to, because Missy Franklin is going to return to her high school swim team and compete this upcoming season. Joe, should Missy Franklin be allowed to compete at the high school level?
I think the only thing Franklin should be worried about is how much time she can spend giving autographs out at these swim meets. Look, she's in high school. She likes swimming. She can swim. That's it. She can swim for her high school. I don't understand the problem.
Joe, listen, I got to tell Missy, I have an issue with autographs after being on this show. It is time consuming.
Oh,
but
sure it is.
Yeah, it is. But let me tell you this. I think she should be able to swim. She's still in high school. Let her have that experience, because you only get that once.
Yeah, she's going to win. Like, she's an Olympian.
I mean, nonetheless, she will.
But she's a high school swimmer.
She loves her teammates.
So
she loves the coach. Let her do it.
Exactly. By January 1st, 2016, the golf world will be banning anchoring clubs that allow a player to limit their club swing. One of the most common types of clubs that will be outlawed by this decision is the belly putter. Two-time Masters champion Bernard Langer, who has used the putter his entire career, believes the club should have been banned long ago if it was a problem, while golf legend Gary Player thinks the club should be removed by this New Year's Day. Kurt, whose side are you on?
I got to tell you, Gary Player has this one right. The belly putter is a disgrace to golf.
How?
I will tell you. Listen, there should never be a club that you can anchor against your body, because that takes the pressure out of the game. If I'm lined up over a putt and my hands are shaking, but I have the club dug into my gut, my hand shaking is not going to affect the shot.
I think Langer does have a point, though. Shouldn't they have thought of this when the club was first introduced? Because, I mean, it does help in those pressure situations. But here's my thing. It's an improvement in technology. Just like the bigger driver heads that are helping these players hit so far.
But there's a difference. Listen, I'm fine with improving technology in golf. That's fine. That's the way the game is going. That's fine. But once you have a club anchored against your body, that's when it's giving you an unfair advantage. It needs to go.
I think they have to figure out how to compare the two, though, because length has been a huge issue in the golf world lately. I think they have to bring both up, because they are both big problems.
Hey, we'll see how they deal with this one. Time for us to take our first break, but when 101 returns, I will be joined by one of our college football experts to break down the Heisman Trophy finalist. This is going to be fun.